ones for staff. It's all coming your way. And Kandapar to appear before committee on Wednesday. The committee probing the alleged the leaked tapes alleging the admonition for the sacking or the dismissal of the IGP. Abashade Rachel, good morning. Say health is wealth. Thank God for another beautiful day. My sister, I say thank you very much. It is very, very true. Listen to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, now moving on to other parts of the world as well. It's the Wednesday morning show, and therefore the fourth position will start from a place of being pressed with time. So now Kim heads home after Putin toasts North Korea's friendship. Well. Now, official figures show the UK economy contracted by 0.5% in July, more than economists predicted. Now, British soldier charged with murder in Canada. That's a serious one. And Theresa May, my Brexit deal would have been better. Well, who knows? Maybe we should bring it back. Okay, fears voters' ID could disrupt general election. Cash-strapped councils may not be able to afford extra staff at polling stations, a survey has suggested. Well, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Baba mission. One day be on see I want. People go lay bossy. Oroshi. Where oh. Baba mission. One day. Oh, one day. In your shape, your lumber. One day go lay possible. I'm a where. Baba mission. One day be on see I want. People go lay bossy. Oroshi. Where oh. Baba mission. One day. One day. In your shape, your lumber. One day go lay possible. I'm a where. Baba mission. One day be on see I want. People go lay bossy. Oroshi. Where oh. Baba mission. One day. One day. In your shape, your lumber. One day go lay possible. I'm a where. Baba mission. One day be on see I want. People go lay bossy. Oroshi. Where oh. Baba mission. One day. One day. In your shape, your lumber. One day go lay possible. I'm a where. Baba mission. One day be on see I want. People go lay bossy. Oroshi. Where oh. Baba mission. One day. One day. In your shape, your lumber. One day go lay possible. I'm a where. Baba mission. One day be on see I want. People go lay bossy. Oroshi. Where oh. Baba mission. One day. One day. In your shape, your lumber. One day go lay possible. I'm a where. Baba mission. One day be on see I want. wípé kò lè bọ́ sí i o ọ̀rọ̀ òṣì wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ o bàbá bá mi ṣe wọ́n ní. kò sáyé ló ó wáyé fún mi lọ ọbọ̀ bọ̀bọ̀lẹ̀ mi bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́nu lórúkọ rẹ̀ ó wáyé fún. wọ́n ní pé ènìyàn ṣe bí ọlọ́run ọba wọ́n ní kò lè bọ́ sí ipò àmọ́ wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ bàbá bá mi ṣe wọ́n ní bí ó sì àwọn wípé kò lè bọ́ sí i ọ̀rọ̀ òṣì wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ o bàbá bá mi ṣe wọ́n ní. kò sáyé ló ó wáyé fún mi lọ ọbọ̀ bọ̀bọ̀lẹ̀ mi bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́nu lórúkọ rẹ̀ ó wáyé fún. wọ́n ní pé ènìyàn ṣe bí ọlọ́run ọba wọ́n ní kò lè bọ́ sí ipò àmọ́ wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ bàbá bá mi ṣe wọ́n ní bí ó sì àwọn wípé kò lè bọ́ sí i ọ̀rọ̀ òṣì wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ o bàbá bá mi ṣe wọ́n ní. kò sáyé ló ó wáyé fún mi lọ ọbọ̀ bọ̀bọ̀lẹ̀ mi bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́nu lórúkọ rẹ̀ ó wáyé fún. wọ́n ní pé ènìyàn ṣe bí ọlọ́run ọba wọ́n ní kò lè bọ́ sí ipò àmọ́ wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ bàbá bá mi ṣe wọ́n ní bí ó sì àwọn wípé kò lè bọ́ sí i ọ̀rọ̀ òṣì wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ o bàbá bá mi ṣe wọ́n ní. kò sáyé ló ó wáyé fún mi lọ ọbọ̀ bọ̀bọ̀lẹ̀ mi bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́nu lórúkọ rẹ̀ ó wáyé fún.
Move away far from
Talkative.
opinions are
Talkative.
bloggers,
Talkative.
social media,
Talkative.
old friends,
Talkative.
some doctors, reporter.
Talkative.
Oh, yes, I'm writing names of talkatives, as I did say. Yes, from Coffee Boham.
Away far from
Talkative.
people.
That is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to exactement 4 minutes past the top of the hour.
Talkative.
You are very quiet.
Talkative.
Open makeup, Dodo.
This is Starr Radio.
You sing.
At 4 minutes past 11, it is my singular honor to once again welcome my brother and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki from our North London studios.
Are you the one they said you did?
I mean, it looks like your image is frozen. Are you there or you are gone? I think he's gone.
Talkative.
Me too.
Ah,
Okay.
Okay, he's gone. He'll be back.
Things are
Talkative.
move away far from run away from
Talkative.
keep some distance.
Writing names of targets, anything that seems to be challenging you, anything that seems not to be giving way for your progress, you write the names down and you, as much as you can, run away from them.
Teacher will get you when he comes.
As for me,
I have
no time to wait.
no time to waste.
I'll write the names of
I'm
talkers.
writing names of talk.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Hey, just bear with us whilst we have we do our best to connect Mr. Olayomi Koiki.
Teacher will get you when he comes.
So continue to enjoy the music whilst we wait for Yomi to join in.
Time to waste.
Can we talk? Can we talk? Call him, said.
This is Starr Radio.
Yeah. Have you met any?
This is Starr Radio. Starr Radio.
List some names of talkatives. I am going now. Yeah. Some friends are, some family members, some landlords are. I said your exes are, your exes are. Have you known any? Move away far from opinions are bloggers, social media, old friends,
Okay, so it says move away from talkatives.
some symptoms,
Those who don't wish you to progress.
addictions are.
Those whose aim and their ambition is to ground you,
Opinions are.
marginalize you.
You are too fast.
And make sure that you don't go nowhere.
You're
Starr Radio UK, we are not like that. We're here to make sure that you go somewhere.
you are very
And
quiet.
therefore, it's my singular honor once again to introduce my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, to you this morning, all the way in our North London studios. And I'm saying, Yomi, good morning.
Well, a very bright good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to our listeners and viewers around the globe. And welcome once again to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, the Wednesday edition, as we kickstart again another mid-week, as we are just saying.
Yes, how are you doing? How is the family?
Well, it's a bit windy outside this morning while I was out there. But as we can say, the family are doing very well. We're grateful.
Okay, good. We thank God. We're all doing well. Let's crack on. Now, interestingly, you have a picture of you. I say of you. I don't know if you are the president and the Labour. Yes, and the NLC executives. Now, but post-subsidy talks, Labour threatens indefinite strike and gives 1 week ultimatum. Now, remember that when Labour decided to embark on a strike and then the government took them to court, so they were being cited for contempt. We were thinking that they were going to imprison them. We know DSS will come with their sword. But fortunately or unfortunately, President, I think they decided to just quash it and let sleeping dogs lie. But it looks like they're thinking that whatever their desires were have not been met. And therefore, I say that we need to talk about this. If not, we're giving you just a 1 week ultimatum and we're back on a strike. Yomi, tell us more.
Well, you can't give, a bag of rice to 12 people. 100 million naira to each lawmaker is an insult, according to the Labour that seems now to be saying that they would have to. Remember, we told you that the Nigerian Labour Congress has not been the Nigerian Labour Congress that we know in the past. And maybe because they're just trying to walk in the 21st century. But it seems again that there might be a Labour bringing out an indefinite strike. We have seen 2-day strike last week. We have seen 1-day strike since they came into the new administration. But this time around, they are now giving a 1 week ultimatum. It seems that the president might have to either prepare to complete this before he travels to the United Nations General Assembly. We know that the vice president is en route to Cuba for the G77 as we speak right now. Barely 1 week after leading a 2-day nation-warning strike, the organized labor yesterday have now threatened to begin an indefinite strike should the federal government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu fail to meet its demand at the end of a 21-day ultimatum, which will expire in just approximately a week from today. So this time next week, if there is not a kind of another roundtable discussion between the federal government and the NLC, the worker union said the proposed strike was necessary following the failure of the federal government to provide the palliative to assuage the Nigerians' hardship as a result of the fuel subsidy. Starr Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Well, listen, it's quite an interesting one there. Will the government call it a bluff and say, well, whatever they want to do, they can continue to do it, that they don't give a hoot about it? Or are they going to say that, you know what, we have to hack into them before the president travels? Because with everything that is happening from across the continent, we see when people are so much pressed, well, they have the military and we have some people come in and say, we want this president out but the president and his spokespersons have gone on to say that, look, Tinubu is doing everything. Even we have the president of the United States of America, Joe Biden, saying that Tinubu giving a thumbs up to Tinubu for all the good work that he's doing pertaining to putting things together to get them what they want. But do you think the government will call it a bluff, or are they ready to meet with them, Yomi?
I don't think Tinubu is really calling them a bluff, because it's a government that says it wants to listen and work, with the, especially, some of these TUC, the Nigerian Labour Congress, and which has been taking place, since the government resumption on the May 29th. But what we have seen is that it seems that, the palliative issue is not yet being fully put in place. Maybe the president might be having, some kind of meetings with them so that, the lapse of the week would not eventually throw the country into where investors that the president is still trying to convince to come into the country would not, be affected. We know that the president returned back from the G20 summit in India, had a working visit, to United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi. But it seems as we speak right now, the Nigerian Labour Congress said the industrial action, which may commence any day from next week, will lead to not just 2 days around, it will be an indefinite shutdown of commercial and economic activities across the country. And this was put together by the National Assistant General Secretary of the NLC, Mr. Christopher Onyeka, who says that the federal government was wrong to share a bag of rice to a dozen citizens while reportedly giving 100 million naira palliative to each member of the National Assembly.
Well, in the animal kingdom, some animals are equal to than others. So that's what seems to be what is happening there. But listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. Now let's come to one of the issues that is making the rounds. Quite interesting one. Nigerians to start clearing goods from Cotonou ports. That's what the customs are saying. Why can't Nigeria actually run in all customs port and get goods through? Why are they going to make people? Because I know that Cotonou and Benin, and Togo, the ports there, they have free ports. But I don't think Nigeria has got a free port. So what exactly is going on? Why are they saying that that's going to happen?
Well, yes, you're quite right. The headline coming this morning, Nigerians to start clearing goods from Cotonou port, is coming from the Nigerian Customs. The acting controller general of the Nigerian Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, spoke yesterday and has now announced that the Nigerian importers will soon be able to clear their goods from the port in Cotonou in Benin Republic. Like you said, there has been a very good cordial relationship. The Nigerians, especially those in the southwest, believe that Cotonou is the number 37 state of Nigeria, just like Niger is it to the northern part. He actually disclosed this yesterday in a 2-day walking visit by the Director General and some of the senior officials of the custom services of Benin Republic. So what does that really mean, for the layman? I mean, if I'm going to be sending my goods, from London to Nigeria, can I literally send it to Cotonou? Maybe that is the best option. The custom personnel from the both countries have now entered a lot of various agreements during this 2-day meeting in order to boost trade, relation between Nigeria and Benin Republic, as well as curb smuggling. While he was now responding to question, Adewale, we are building confidence in the system offered by the Republic of Benin. Remember that we've seen, President Bola Tinubu, prior before the Niger, when ECOWAS, had to bring in some measures, for the coup junta. But we saw that Bola Tinubu, the president, traveled to the Benin Republic, while also we've seen President Patrice Talon visiting Nigeria. Maybe this was part of some of the discussion behind closed doors to be able to bring out the best out of the two countries. What has always happened is that within the borderline, it has always been tense, especially as many Nigerians want to bring in certain products from Benin Republic that are contraband in the country. Goods like rice and likewise some other stuff as well. But for a very long time, more than 2 years, we saw the former President Buhari had a very, very bad relationship with Benin Republic by closing the borders while the borders in the north were operating.
Well, listeners, it's quite an interesting one. Somebody was trying to ask the question, was he trying to sabotage the economy of the Southwest? Was that the ploy of the former president? But, well, he's no more there, and therefore we just leave him to be. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios. It's a Wednesday edition of the morning show. Now, NEMA is issuing flood alert to 13 states and 50 communities. Now, is this something that normally happens in Nigeria, where we have serious floods? Because looking at what is happening now, like what has happened in Libya and other European countries, the floods and the quantum of destruction that has taken place, it is worrying if they are just saying, giving that warning, and we don't have the necessary accoutrement to make sure that, look, if the people are leaving this particular place, moving to higher grounds, which higher grounds do we have? Have they got tents? Have they got things that will help them to be able to survive there? Or are they all now going to rush to Lagos? Where? And which are the communities as well? Yomi.
Well, flood is, like you said, condolences go to those in Libya. We have a lot of Africans that are living there, as many as Nigerians that are also part of those Africans as well. But, flood is a disaster that needs to be worked on based on infrastructure as well. But sometimes, some of these, events happen and unfold very quickly. Yes, you're quite right. Nigeria is also risk to flooding, especially when some of the dams in the neighboring border are open, and that literally flood, some of the places. We've seen that happen continuously, and there is now warning, especially as we are now being told by the NIHSA, the Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency, just about some 14 days ago. There's been some warning. Those warnings are now coming back as well. You talked about moving to the lower ground and what are going to be the emergency services to prevent such when this occur. We saw many lives, especially those in the agriculture sector. There was a lot of destruction, but the Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency has now issued serious warning about a likelihood of more flooding across the country in 2023. The agency is prediction indicated that almost 178 local government areas in 32 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, were higher in danger of the severe flooding. The organization recorded that when it released the 2023 annual flood outlook, this came out some few days ago. Which area and which state? Remember that Nigeria has 774 local governments. So which part of the state should we, tell those in that area to prepare just in case? Because we do not want to see the headline, just as we're seeing it in Libya, where maybe they were not told in advance, and it seems that many people were caught out while they were in bed, and over 10,000 people have died in that particular current situation. We are looking at Bayelsa State, Cross River State, Delta, Edo, Lagos State, Ogun State, Ondo State, and River State were particularly to a coastal flooding. In addition, some of the major cities like Abuja, Lagos, Ibadan, Port Harcourt were expected to experience flash and urban flood as well. Starr Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 19 minutes past the top of the hour. Let me pick this one up and then I'll go back to Yomi for him to bring you all the other stories making the rounds. Now, NSCDC has arrested 10 suspected oil thieves is the other story that is making the rounds this morning, and impounds over 28,000 liters of diesel. And I listened to it and I laughed over it. Shemayu, Adeyemi, let me say good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us as well. I salute you. I salute you. We are doing well, but thank God we are also doing well. Now, the issue is there are people who bring ships and they load it with crude oil, they take it away. And that has caused the country lots, billions. Now, we don't seem to be concerned about that. We're talking about somebody 28 liters, 28,000 liters of it. Well, somebody will say that one is also part of it. But, Yomi, what are they saying? And why are they going over, after the small fishes when there are big fishes that they could go after?
Well, you don't leave any small fish because the small fish might end up becoming big. And maybe that has been, the problem, for a very long time in Nigeria. We've left things and it has become a big problem. And that has become something that is affecting communities. I mean, we're talking about the river line. When there is this kind of, oil bunkering, remember that there's also damage to the community. This was what the late Kensariwa was fighting for until it was, hanged to death by the former Sani Abacha. The NSDC, like you said they've now arrested 10 people, suspected to be oil theft, and has also taken about 28,000 liters of the diesel. This is the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps in Rivers State. We know that Rivers State has good amount of crude oil. The question is, what can be done, to leverage and pull the resources out of the money coming out of the crude oil so that more innocent lives are not destroyed, especially in the riverine area as well. The command also says that 9 vehicles landing with illegal refinery petroleum products have been concealed in a cellophane bags and then seized about 28,000 liters of illegal refined as well. Let's look at those involved. The 10 suspects include a second-time offender, Chinedu Michael, who was granted bail 2 months ago after he was arrested for the same offense. Remember also that about a few months ago, just before this present administration was coming in, there was a video in circulation where a custom officer kept on saying that, I'm not going to allow tankers to travel out of the offshore of Nigeria, from the boundary to another state. But it seems that till today, things have not yet been resolved. How much more can be done to curb oil theft so that loss of lives and also millions of people that should be working in the riverine area, those sector has been destroyed. The government has a lot of work to do, but it seems that parading the suspect at the command headquarters in River State, the commandant, Darcy, noted that the suspects were apprehended at the various locations across the state.
Okay. Well, if, like you said, we need to catch the small fishes before they grow up to become big big whales, and then they will be destroying lots of things. We hope that they are doing so, and they will not spare anyone. Listen, as a Starr Radio, okay, 11:23, and I'll leave Yomi to bring us the rest of the stories that is making the rounds and all that's happening on the social media platform. Over to you, Yomi.
Yeah, we're just going to go straight into it because later on at 1800 hours, 6 p.m. local time, we will focus back again on the NLC. If this time around the government will finalize a conclusion to the NLC, and they also will be talking about some of the outcome from the G20 and the stopover from the government at the United Arab Emirates. But for now, ITF tells the northern governors to prioritize youth empowerment. This morning I was, having some kind of discussion, and I was talking about education. We need that education. We need the apprentice. But it seems that the ITF has now urged governors of the 19 northern states to prioritize youth development through skills acquisition programs. We've seen, as many of most of these northern states where we have a lot of almajiris, children that are roaming around the street, without mothers, without fathers, and they're now becoming a burden to the society as well. The Director General of the Industrial Training Fund, Joseph Ari, has urged governors of the 19 northern states to think about the youth development through skills and also acquisition programs. So let's go straight into one or more two headlines, and then we go to what is happening on the social media. Yes, another young artist. Very sad news as that was coming out yesterday evening when the news filtered out from Nigeria that the Afro star Mohbad died at 27 years old. Do we know the cause of the death? Not currently, as we can say, but what we can confirm that he died yesterday evening at the age of 27. May so rest in perfect peace. He's known as a rapper, but full name is Olamide Gbenga, also known as Olamide, took to the performance platform to mourn these young the name is actually not Olamide. We're talking about Akibi Abiola, better known as Bella Shodo. But again, born in 1996. You might wonder what could have gone wrong and what could have been the cause of the death. to this rapper. It's not going to be the young rapper that have died in Nigeria. I remember that Green. That Green also died, some few years back. He was the best Nigerian, rapper of the time. But again, he died at a very young age. Oladapo Olaitan Olanipekun, also known as that Green, was born in 1984. And you can look at the age difference. You could tell that, these were young Nigerians that have been doing well in the music industry, but we hope it has nothing to do with drugs, as some have been saying. Let's come back again out and talk about some of the other headlines out there. It seems that Nigerians might be having access to the Nigerian passport. 60,000 Nigerian passport backlogged in 4 days. When we came on board, the passport crisis was an embarrassment. Just as it is in UK, many Nigerians find it very difficult. I remember a few times we've been at the Nigerian High Commission, and each time I passes through there are so many Nigerians that continue to lament and complain. We know that the Nigerian government have recalled all the ambassadors back to Nigeria, apart from those representing Nigeria at the United Nations, so that they can prepare ahead for the president first United Nations General Assembly later on this month. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, says that the Nigerian Immigration Services, NIS, has cleared the passport backlog of almost 60,000 within the 4 days. He also said this yesterday in Abuja when he received the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Elevation, Betty Edu, on a courtesy call. When we came on board, the passport crisis was an embarrassment, and we said it cannot continue. A statement from the minister's spokesman, Alaomi Babatunde, quoted. So we will continue to monitor that, and we hope that many Nigerians that are still trying to get their passport for so many reasons, especially those outside Nigeria, and those in Nigeria will be able to have access to those passports, and we will continue to monitor that as well. As we now go straight into some of what is trending on the social media this morning, we take one. The Nigerian police is now working with land grabbers to detain innocent residents. Ogun House of Assembly has now petitioned the Inspector General Police. You might wonder why police are working, hand in hand with those that have money to buy land. But it seems that everything goes in Nigeria, especially if you know certain set of people, you might use that to oppress others as well. And that has been going on, not today, it has been going on, especially when you buy a land. Land is one of the biggest problems, and that is something that many Nigerians have to do their own due diligence before buying those land. But the Assembly has accused police of making illegal arrests, detain of innocent residents of the state on the trump-up charges in conniving with land grabbers in the state. So the Ogun State House of Assembly has accused the police in the statement of conniving with land grabbers. Imagine if the police is conniving with land grabbers, you might as well think what could be the problem. So Kayode Egbetokun, the IG, would have to look into this issue. At 11:29, because of our very, very time constraint, as we have to go to the PMQ later on. Let's see what is trending this morning on the social media. I've seen again irate youth asking for money before they can bury Mohab in Ikorodu. This is we're still talking about a dead man, and it seems that some are asking for money before he's going to be buried. It seems that there is no respect even for the dead, and you can think of those that are still alive as well. So again, let's touch on some of the other stories that is happening as well. Once again, this is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. So what actually is trending this morning? I don't know why Satan is trending in Nigeria. We know that Satan is not something you want to come across, but it seems that Satan is actually trending in Nigeria. Let's see what more is trending. Kuton is trending, and that has got to do with one of the headlines that the Kuton port will be used as well. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, we talked about the Nigerian passport. Hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu is also trending. Also, arrest Peter Obi. I don't know why that is trending, but we know that the Chicago State University is trending because they are now going to offer a Yoruba program at that particular university as well. Later on in the evening, there will be more time. There's going to be more room to have a lot of discussion surrounding the lot of things going on in Nigeria, especially the outcome of the G20. What does that mean for Nigeria? The outcome of the UAE, and most importantly, the NLC indefinite strike that might start from next week. Starr Radio UK, I'll come back now again to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, yes, he's brought you everything that you need to know. But you know what? If you want to know more and be able to also add a voice to the discussions, well, this evening exactly at 18 hours BST or 6 p.m. local time or GMT +1. Yes, that will be 6. Those of you in other parts of the world, yes, join Mr. Olayomi Koiki for him to bring you the Niger voices. Yomi, before you go.
Well, see you just in about 6 hours from now. But for now, Archie takes us through the rest of the program to the PMQ, as there's a lot going on in UK, especially when it comes to the drugs like cannabis and other that are harmful to neighborhoods, and likewise as some of the drugs that have become very harmful to the citizens here as well. So Archie will take you through that, and we look forward to listening to the PMQ, which is Sunak, after his first trip as the first Indian heritage Prime Minister, also from India. Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Have a very good morning, Mr. Archie.
Good morning, and we'll catch up later. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African